All right, guys, the Iceman here on the Iceman's Return YouTube channel. The last couple of days have been, pretty eventful. Um, a lot of drama going on, unfortunately. You know, my nephew Matt and I, we have a friend Scott, which I think everybody pretty much knows here on YouTube. And yeah, he does make a lot of channels. And I know years ago I used to complain about it because he would make a new channel, subscribe, and then he would close it down, and it left you a blank hole. You still had the subscription, but it left you a blank. And I know I made a video a long, long time ago asking him to stop, and but he didn't, and so I let it go. It went on, and but now this is like 4 years later, and of course YouTube has this new way of cleaning up. When somebody closes their channel down, so they take that subscriber off, which I think is a very good thing. But I guess in the last few days, there's just been there's been a lot of rants. Everybody throwing rants back and forth, and I saw the video that Scott made, and I'll be honest with you, I don't remember the channel it was because he does make a bunch of channels. It was on. He made some comments to Aaron Loves WWE and TNA, and I watched the video, and I wouldn't have got upset over the video. I would have been annoyed over it. Um, Aaron responded, and then the wrestling talent made a video, and he responded saying that Scott was never his friend and whatnot. And he tried to be his friend like 4 years ago. Him and Matt, my nephew, and Scott were all like friends at the time, but the wrestling talent got tired of Scott making channels and closing down, which I agree that is annoying. I definitely agree with that. But the wrestling talent was bringing Matt into the mix, which he's saying that Matt is not Scott's friend and he only feels sorry for him. And I can vouch for my nephew Matt that he is Scott's friend. Because I will say this: Matt is a good person, and maybe in some ways he does feel sorry for Scott, but he does like Scott, and I know that for a fact, and I like Scott. And people sort of play with Scott's mind a little bit and sort of like mess with his head, and it's totally wrong. Uh, I think it's immoral in some ways to mess with somebody like that because you're confusing the person. He doesn't know which direction to go. And I was at Matt's house today, and Matt was talking to Scott, and I was talking to Scott in the background, and Matt made a new channel. And by the way, I subscribe to it. It's ECW Rising. I think that's what it is. ECW Rising Forever. That's what it is. I'll put a link in the description box. And we were talking, and Scott was in a very good mood. And so later on, as the day progressed, me and Matt went to the store and we came back, and then Scott had called again, and he was very upset. And he said he got a phone call from another YouTuber saying that he had spoken to me and said that I didn't want to subscribe to Scott, and he was trying to talk me into it. And I'm not going to mention this YouTuber's name because if you see this video, he knows who he is. And I've never ever talked to this person on the phone ever, ever. I comment on his videos, he comments on mine. That's as far as it goes, and it's never about anybody. And so Scott sort of got a little disorientated. And for me, I look at it this way: don't mess with somebody like that. I mean, I I have a lot to say that I'd really like to say, but I won't. Um, but because I don't really know how to word it the proper way. But don't play games with somebody um, because you're messing up the person's head. And I think very lowly of the person that has done this now. And somewhere down the road, I will address it. But um, I'm going to be taking a road trip probably in a few weeks, probably right after Thanksgiving. And I'm going to head to Massachusetts. I got to stop off and see a friend. And I'm going to make another stop. And, but I, I'm very disturbed over the fact that someone would call and say things that weren't said. And this is one of the reasons why I don't go on Skype very often, is because you never know when you're going to be recorded, for one thing. And there are some people that I wanted on Skype that won't go on Skype because they know I have a lot of questions I'd like to ask them, and they don't want to be confronted with those questions directly. So all I can say is Scott is Matt's friend. Scott is my friend, and I don't. Nobody can change that. Nobody can change that. You can think what you want about the person, but no one's going to change that. That's just how I feel. I mean, and I will get to the bottom of it. So, but anyway, enough said about that. It's been like 7 minutes about this subject. I just want to point out that last week's SmackDown, the ratings went up, and we all know why. I mean, it's because of John Cena. Like it or not, it is a fact. John Cena brought ratings to SmackDown, and that's exactly what Vince McMahon wanted. And the other thing also is there's going to be some changes coming the first of the year. You know, a lot of people are wondering what's going on with the belts. As far as the WWE title goes, at this point, I really don't care. Um, Daniel Bryan should be champion. He's not. I I have a problem with Randy Orton right now. Just for I don't like the storyline. Okay. Um, a lot of people think that John Cena may hold the World Heavyweight belt till WrestleMania. That's a very good possibility because there are rumors, in effect, that CM Punk may be going after the World Heavyweight title. And there are rumors that Punk and Cena may wrestle for the title at WrestleMania. And this is something I've been wanting for the last 2 years. The only thing I'm worried about, because Punk has such a lopsided win-loss with John Cena, him being on the win side, that CM Punk would end up taking the title away from John Cena. But I guess if Cena has it till WrestleMania, I'm happy with that. Uh, but again, the WWE is trying to make the World Heavyweight belt back as big as what it should be. And, the WWE title will always be the main belt in the WWE, but there has been times years ago that the World Heavyweight belt was more prestigious. And if this indeed happens where CM Punk goes after the World Heavyweight title and John Cena still has it at WrestleMania, this will be one hell of a main event. If it is the main event, if it's not the main event, it's got to be the second match, runner up to the main event. It all depends on what the WWE title is going to bring, whether it's Randy Orton still or Daniel Bryan possibly. I don't know. But anyway, um, Raw's on tonight, and I'll be quite honest with you, I'm not too enthused about it. Um, I want to see what John Cena has to say tonight. Um, the Wyatts and Punk and Bryan, I don't like that storyline. But again, you know, to each his own. So anyway, I put that out there earlier about Scott, ECW Rising Forever. I'm gonna put a link in the description box. Give the guy a chance. Give him some subs, and you know something, just just show that we are all good people here on YouTube, and we stick together. So that's all I got to say. Peace out, everybody. Have a great night.